Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. Here's a recap of our top stories from the week. The City of Hazleton kicked off the holiday season on Wednesday with their annual tree lighting event at City Hall. The program began at 5 o'clock p.m. and featured a performance from singer Savannah Klingerman, a Christmas carol sing-along, and several dance numbers by the All That Dancin' dance group. The event concluded with the lighting of the city's Christmas tree and the arrival of Santa and Mrs. Claus. Hazleton Parks and Recreation Director Allie McKittrick told us about the excitement as Santa made his appearance at City Hall.
That was so exciting. I heard kids literally clapping, singing, dancing. It was just so great to see them. And we had fire trucks come through. And we have a new Santa Claus, a new Christmas bus in town. So he came in on that Christmas bus. It's just wonderful.
McKittrick also shared a message to the people of Hazleton as the holiday season truly begins.
Well, I just want to say I love Hazleton, and I'm just grateful that you guys do take part in these kind of things, because we are doing this for you, and we're just grateful for the people that really do come out and celebrate with us. It just makes for such a good, jolly holiday, and it's just a nice time to be together.
Information on upcoming holiday events in Hazleton can be found at hazletonfortheholidays.com. WYLN is kicking off the Christmas season with a variety of holiday programming. This year, we're bringing back all your cooking favorites. You can catch Chef Lou's 2008 and 2009 Christmas specials airing at the dates and times shown on screen. Then we see what's cooking in Granny Rita's kitchen on December 13th, 16th, 18th, 21st, and 23rd. Looking for some tasty appetizers? We have you covered on Ciao Bella beginning on December 7th. Or take a look inside the kitchens of Kathy Cucci and the McDonald's as they whip up some holiday cuisine at the dates and times shown on screen. Then if you're still hungry, we get some baking tips from Jen Mola beginning on December 7th and 8th. But that's not all. WYLN is also bringing some Hazleton holiday events into your living room, with Hazleton's Can Do Christmas on Tuesday, December 10th and throughout the holiday season. You can also catch the Christ Lutheran Church Christmas Eve service beginning at 8 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, December 24th, and at 10 o'clock a.m. on Wednesday, December 25th. Looking for some holiday cheer? WYLN will be broadcasting a variety of holiday concerts, including the Sounds of the Season, featuring the Hazleton Philharmonic Orchestra. You can catch them on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at the times shown on screen. Then we take a stroll down memory lane with a 1997 holiday performance by the Hazleton Area High School Band on Hometown Holiday. Or you can put on your dancing shoes and join us for a Polka Connection Christmas on December 7th and 11th. When you're done dancing, you can also join us for an exclusive interview with entertainer and piano man Tommy Zito on the Your Life Holiday Special. Or you can learn about the history of St. Nicholas on From Saint to Santa Claus, which will air on December 9th and 11th. You can also join us as we take a deep dive into Jewish holiday traditions with Rabbi Bogage and learn about the significance of Hanukkah on December 10th. Then Santa visits the studio for an exclusive interview on December 9th, 13th, 17th, and 24th. Last but not least, we invite you to explore the biblical Christmas story with the story of the first Noel airing on December 12th. For a full listing of our holiday programming, you can visit the WYLN News Facebook page for all the details. Coming up on WYLN News, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Benton, Part 4. Plus, we check in with State Representative Dane Watrow on Watrow's Weekly Update. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
WYLN News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network Express Care. Now open on the Airport Beltway in Hazel Township. Walk-in care 365 days a year for common illness and minor injuries.
My name is Charlie. I am 8. and the forecast for tomorrow is partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
In preparation for the Christmas season, Antonia's Jewelry and Repair is filled with special collections for this season of joy. We offer a variety of watches, including Bulova. Fine diamond jewelry in yellow, white, and rose gold. Engagement rings that can be custom designed so it is one of a kind. Diamond anniversary bands, rings, pendants, earrings, and more. Full-service jewelry and watch repairs. Stop in to see Toni. Let her help you pick the perfect gift. Antonia's Jewelry and Repair, 289 Airport Road in Hazel Township.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
FNL Doors, your trusted overhead door supplier for over 50 years, providing quality products and services to Eastern PA and beyond with 2 strategic locations. They carry garage doors from leading manufacturers in the industry like Rainer. They guarantee parts and service for your home or business, from new construction to replacement doors, inspections, and service calls. FNL Doors stands behind every job, taking pride in the work they do. Call 800-344-DOOR or visit FNL Doors online at fldoors.com or visit their showrooms in Hazel Township or Schuylkill Haven.
Contact Pete Kasalika for a home and auto quote today.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network. A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
In the Benton area, the movies would find a home in town when the Ritz Theater opened on April 19, 1916. The theater was built by A.J. Housewort and had a capacity of roughly 300 seats. Peter Magazu, who owned a chain of theaters including the Andrea in Catawissa and the Angela in Coaldale, purchased the theater in 1937. The last picture aired at the Ritz on December 1, 1952, when it closed in protest of a local 10% amusement tax that Benton officials had refused to repeal. The Ritz Theater stood vacant for 7 years until it was torn down in 1959. Scouting would take off in the early part of the 20th century in the United States, with young boys increasingly taking summer sojourns into nature to improve themselves physically and mentally. In the Benton area, this movement would lead to the formation of Camp Levine in 1924 on Fishing Creek in the former Winona Park picnic area. It was chartered by the Columbia Montour Council of the Boy Scouts of America, which had formed the prior year. The eventual camp would be named in honor of Council President J.F. Levine, who owned a silk mill in Danville at the time. The first set of scouts themselves helped build part of the camp, with the boys receiving a cash reward for each stump they pulled out of the eventual parade grounds. Early recreation at Camp Levine was a bit wild by today's standards. The scouts would, in 1927, build a treehouse 70 feet in the air in a sycamore, accessible only by a rope ladder. It stood for 2 years before it was torn down due to rapid deterioration. Swimming at first was in Fishing Creek itself, via a wooden slide that began atop the Bloomsburg and Sullivan's railroad tracks. Engineers thus frequently had to blow their whistles hard to get campers off the tracks. This arrangement would be replaced by what was the very first swimming pool in Columbia County in 1930. More than 1,000 boys scouted at Camp Levine during the height of the scouting movement in the middle 20th century. The camp still operates today, now open to girls as well as other local civic groups. Although the area north of Benton owned by R. Bruce Ricketts was heavily timbered over the years, the glens and waterfalls that had captivated patrons of his hotel still stood in their original natural state. Recognizing the potential of keeping them intact, Ricketts opened them to the public in 1913 with a $1 fee for parking. Following Ricketts' passing in 1918, the State Game Commission bought nearly 50,000 acres from his heirs to create State Game Lands No. 13, leaving the Ricketts family the glens and waterfalls. Beginning in 1935, an effort was made to designate the remaining holdings as a national park, although this would be defunded the following year. Finally, on August 1, 1941, Governor Arthur James signed a bill that created Ricketts Glen State Park. Pennsylvania bought the land from the Ricketts family the following year and opened the park to the public on August 1, 1943. The state made improvements in the glens, rebuilding the trails and bridges that passed by the waterfalls. It also removed all the Ricketts family's dams on the properties and replaced them with more modern ones. Today, Ricketts Glen State Park continues to offer guests a strong taste of nature, especially in the still intact glens where the waterfalls still flow freely. Ricketts Glen State Park was also, beginning in 1950, the site of a military radio station. Operated by the 648th Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron based out of Fort Indiantown Gap, it was designed to serve as an early warning system in the event of a Soviet attack during the Cold War. Roughly 300 servicemen would be stationed at the facility during its peak before the 648th would be deactivated in 1975. The radar system is still in use today, however, as an advanced signal for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International Airport, while the Red Rock Job Corps Center still uses the barracks. In the middle 20th century, Benton residents had several attractions just to the north in Red Rock to take in on an open day. The first of these to open was the Wyant Museum in 1954. It was the creation of Charles and Jessie Wyant, who had collected countless artifacts during Charles's long career with the U.S. Bureau of Fisheries, which had included time at the nation's largest fishery in Marion, Alabama, and a stint as a federal hatchery superintendent for a 5-state area. Wanting to share everything they'd accumulated over the years with the public, Charles and Jessie opened their house to tourists on Labor Day weekend in 1954. They built an annex next to the house 4 years later to better hold the large collection. The Wyant Museum would be open to the public Wednesdays through Sundays, and admission was free. Guests who stepped inside could look at the Wyant's collection of more than 8,000 Native American beads, 6,000 arrowheads, countless firearms, and a large taxidermy collection of bobcats, foxes, weasels, owls, pheasants, and other wild creatures. The collection also included a bayonet said to have been used in the capture of British Major John Andre before he and Benedict Arnold could turn control of West Point over to the British in the Revolution, a butterfly collection, petrified wood from Alabama, and a set of shark's teeth. Charles and Jessie Wyant announced closure of the museum in July 1979 due to declining health. Their daughter Doris, however, continued to operate the complex for another quarter century by appointment only. After Doris's death in 2004, the Wyant Museum's collection was auctioned off. Around the time the Wyant Museum opened to history lovers, nature lovers in the Benton area would get their own place to go when the Red Rock Game Farm opened on May 30th, 1957 on Route 118 north of the borough. It was the brainchild of Henry L. Vonderheide, who, with his brother Fred, ran the local Von Brothers Circus. Henry, having noticed during his shows that the audience paid more attention to the animals than any other act, wished for a place to display his circus's animals when not touring. He thus bought 8 acres of land from Brian and Edna Laycock in 1956 and quickly built a zoo on the site. Guests stepped inside a reproduction of an old fort to take in numerous exotic animals: lions, tigers, bears, peacocks, monkeys, alligators, vultures, deer, horses, rabbits, llamas, and elephants were just a few of the over 100 animals to call the Red Rock Game home over the years. For younger guests, a special treat was a stuffed deer named Rudolph, who would go down in history as a perfect ride for a family photo outside the zoo. After several years of devoting his full attention to the game farm, Vonderheide restarted his circus, frequently takes some of the game farm's residents around the area for special events. The death of Henry Vonderheide from cancer on April 20th, 1967, spelled the end of the Red Rock Game Farm. The animals will be sold off to new owners, and the land that once held wild animals is now private property. And Benton proper would see a major tradition begin in 1985, when the very first Benton Rodeo would be held. From that start, the event has grown to a major happening that is today considered one of the best rodeos east of the Mississippi River.
Welcome back to Feel Good Friday. I'm joined here with Dr. John. Dr. John, how's it going?
Great, Ryan. It is a joy to work with people. I learn something every day from my patients.
Yep. And today the people are going to learn about screen time because, you know, a lot of kids are on their screens. The weather's getting colder. It's harder to go outside and get some exercise.
Quick story. My first patient this morning at 6:30. He has like a forward head tilt, 16 years old, migraines, plays screens 12 hours a day. So when his mother was with him, we adjusted him. The neurologist can't find anything wrong on the CAT scans and x-rays. He came into this morning for the second visit. Migraines are gone. But I told him, though the headaches are gone, he has to start improving his posture. Any parent watching this show, I'm a parent. I know you don't want to fight every day, but do not give in to your children and let them just be on those screens too much. Come to an agreement of 1 hour a day, let's say, and then talk about posture. I tell people if a kid's playing video games sitting upright, but don't let him be leaning forward because all these young ones are going to get bad necks from looking down at their screens too much. So number one, watch their posture. Number two, decrease how much they're texting or social media or video games. This future generation, don't let them get addicted to that because it's going to cause health issues as they get older.
Yep, and as you know, someone who plays video games myself, it's hard to do that. You just got to break the habit, you got to think, and you just got to put your mind first, and, you know, and hopefully...
I think you have to preset it and say, let me do 2 hours right now, and then let me turn it off and go for a walk or wash the car or talk to mom and dad. So don't be on it too long.
Yep. Helpful advice on this Feel Good Friday, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
In preparation for the Christmas season, Antonia's Jewelry and Repair is filled with special collections for this season of joy. We offer a variety of watches, including Bulova. Fine diamond jewelry in yellow, white, and rose gold. Engagement rings that can be custom designed so it is one of a kind. Diamond anniversary bands, rings, pendants, earrings, and more. Full service jewelry and watch repairs. Stop in to see Toni. Let her help you pick the perfect gift. Antonia's Jewelry and Repair, 289 Airport Road in Hazel Township.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Welcome back to Watro's Weekly Update. I'm joined here as always with State Representative Dane Watro. Dane, how's it going today?
A little chilly, but I'm doing very well. How about you?
Yeah, but also pretty chilly around this time of year. Yeah, but yeah, we make the most of it. We try to get through it, but otherwise I'm still doing pretty good. So.
Yeah. We were just talking earlier about we were getting enough of snow periodically just to be a nuisance to everybody. So just we got to make sure everybody's staying safe out there and doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like I tell my daughter every day when she leaves, if you hit a snow squall, just try to stop if you can, put your four-ways on and get to a safe area. But yeah, super important.
Yeah, road safety is definitely important. So, and actually speaking of safety, I know that recently your district just got approved several grants for several schools within your district, even here in the Hazleton area. And these grants will be used for ensuring school safety and especially towards student mental health within these schools. So if you could tell us more about these grants.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. A top priority of mine is always to bring back state dollars to our district. And the good senator and myself were able to do just that recently, bringing back hundreds of thousands of dollars within our district to our public schools. And that's going to be addressing safety and security. And like you said, mental health. Safety and security is super important. My daughter, she attends the 11th grade in the Hazleton area school district. And I have to be honest with you, she does feel safe. And I feel safe with her going there. However, we gotta just make sure that every child in their educational setting is in a safe environment. And I think giving resources to these school districts is important so they could staff appropriately, have the proper monitors to screen children coming in the building. So that's really important. And with that, and coincides with that, is mental health. We're seeing it more and more throughout the years, and it's increasingly just becoming more. And we need, as a state, to also identify that and give resources. So these entities could provide some services to students in partnership with families at home. Let's face it, when they're in school for just a few short hours a day and then they're going home. So we got to make sure that we're building that relationship with family members, as well as just not saying here's money for the school district, but making sure that they have the resources that they could get some potentially aftercare, if it's treatment or just services, follow-ups, and so on and so forth. So state dollars are super important in those two areas for mental health and the safety and security of our children.
Absolutely. And I think you really hit the point right there, where it's not just about getting the money for these schools to provide it, but also just the resource in and of itself for these families, as you said, and getting that. So it's really great to see now that we'll be able to get that for many of these schools in the district.
Yeah, absolutely. Teachers, they're one of the most scrutinized professions that the public always has a spotlight on them. However, they do put up, I shouldn't say that, our school, public school, and even private schools, they have a lot to deal with. It's just not the teaching anymore, it's the mental health, trying to maneuver that whole issue. And there's a whole laundry list of duties that come with being a teacher anymore. I know you said earlier your brother's first year teaching. My wife is actually a teacher. Oh, really? So yeah, it's I get to see it firsthand. And not all children that are raised this day and age are cared for the way you and I were. Mm-hmm. So there's so much more that goes into it, and my hat's off to everybody who goes in that classroom and does that type of work, whether if it's school police, school security, teachers. I'm big in the dietary department, the cafeterias. My mom, her career spent in the cafeteria. So it's just super important we identify the needs of those children and get them the help. It's not an easy job, and those children coming in there sometimes cry for that help, and we're going to be there for them as far as the state. And I know I'm very confident that our administration and teachers within our district is caring for our children as well.
Yeah, our school faculty and staff are just so important to just across the whole country as a whole. They're very important.
Yeah, and as I said earlier too, it's about building like a partnership and a relationship with your school and at home. Those kids are only with those teachers and administrators and paraprofessionals for a few short hours a day, but then they're going back home. So education is important to you. I know it's important to me. So I'm glad you're able to bring that up today and we could have a discussion on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And shifting things over now, I know you also want to inform our viewers about the deadline for the property tax rent rebate program, which is, I know, a very important program for many people in the area. So homeowners rent rebate program comes to an end December 31st, so that's quickly approaching, and that's a good tool. I know we said a few weeks ago about the home heating and all that stuff. Right. People are struggling, and in this economy, interest rates, everything else, this is a good tool. I was happy to vote just my first term there as raising the income guidelines for that. So I think right now it's about $45,000. You have to meet the family size and all that as well. But it's a very important tool for our seniors, and to give us a call, give me a call at the office, see if you qualify for this, and it could alleviate some pressure in this trying time right now. Home heating fuel is going to be a burden on many people, and I just think that getting that rebate for your home is going to be somewhat of a weight lifted off our people's shoulders here in Pennsylvania. So that's coming to a deadline December 31st. If you don't know if you're qualified for it, the best thing I could do is tell you to call my office, and we could just run through it, and if you do qualify, come on in, or just walk in the office anytime and we can see if you qualify for it. Absolutely. Yep. The resources are there for those who are in need, and I know a lot of people really benefit from having those programs. So
yep, definitely.
Yep. As always, I want to thank State Representative Dan Watcher for joining us here on Watcher's Weekly Update. We'll see you next time.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
You will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
and don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, Lanice was in a car accident about 7 months ago. 5 months of care in Philadelphia was not helping her. A co-worker said, try us out. She's not there yet, but she is improving. Come listen to her story.